Hey, welcome back to the dive. Today's guest will take a deep dive into cryptocurrencies. From Ethereum's use cases, the change to proof of stake, why it could be the next cryptocurrency to go up in value, along with Bitcoin, the company's record quarterly revenue, and how they keep mining prices competitive. He is the executive chairman of HIVE Blockchain Technologies and also one of our regulars here at the dive. Frank Holmes is joining us today. But before we bring Frank on, just a quick reminder to tap that subscribe button for me, please. Hey, Frank, welcome back to the dive.
Yeah, thank you. Long flight, headwinds, 18 hours just to get from Dubai to Houston.
Oh my.
So I'm a bit numb by this interview, so I hope everything goes well.
How was your trip?
It was good. Lots of good information. Cassandra, what you're witnessing is that when Hive first was created and many other companies started to follow, many of those other companies were pump and dumpers and just trying to get into it. Today, it's another level of sophisticated CEOs, professional CEOs. I'm a member of Young Presidents Organization, even though I'm the older guy of the group when they call you a gold member. And many of the CEOs of these public companies are YPOers. And you're seeing the sophistication of letting hedge fund managers that were at this event were YPOers. So there's a greater fascination and interest and capital being deployed in this space.
How many people were at the event?
I would say it was packed with always about 500 people.
Oh,
But
wow.
what's interesting is that, guys in cars that might drive every day on my $3.8 million Bugatti. Like, that's just not happening here in San Antonio, I could tell you that. And car collections. So these family offices are another level of poverty. But they're fascinated with this. So I meet guys that are interested. They're the biggest rice importers into Africa. They're now in the steel business, but they run the family office out of Dubai, and they go back and forth dealing with their managerial and operations.
Sounds great. They've got something right figured out there. All right, so let's talk a bit about Ethereum here. You called Ethereum the next cryptocurrency to explode to the upside. What led you to this sentiment?
Well, it's interesting because Bitcoin has very big following, like gold bugs, fanatical, and the difference is I like to compare them as to lawyers. So you and I could have gone to the same law school, and I'm the conservative insurance lawyer, and you're the litigator. So you're the one making the bigger money, and the Bitcoin guys are all going to make a lot of money off all this money printing, and they're all going to get rich. Whereas the gold bug person is much more conservative, wants to protect their wealth. And that's the big difference. Now, when you go to Ethereum, it's much more cerebral. If you look at the universe of nodes for Bitcoin, I think it's like 13,000 as a number. But when you go to Ethereum around the world, there's 30,000. When we had the meltdown in China kicking everyone out, the difficulty rate for Bitcoin fell, which was good for us, but it didn't fall that much for Ethereum. Ethereum's gone to higher highs. So there's many more kids that are gamers. There's many more people that are involved that they turn off their gaming GPU chip, and all of a sudden they're trying to mine. They run up the energy bill for their parents, and all of a sudden they get one coin, and it's almost $4,000 a day. So they're very excited about that. So you're seeing that the universe of players in Ethereum are actually very different and bigger for me in the total numbers observing than Bitcoin. Bitcoin is much more concentrated. Now, also with Ethereum is the DNA of that smart contract is being used for DeFi, is being used for JP Morgan stablecoin, it's being used for NFTs. So that world says basically the Ethereum smart contract is like the Internet of Things. It's the internet of the blockchain.
Okay, I see. So Ethereum is now changing from proof of work to proof of stake. How does this affect Hive?
I have been listening to that story for 4 years. And I'm going to share with you that's good because there's not much competition. There's been none until this year that someone would come mine Ethereum. So I'm happy. Let my competition focus on Bitcoin mining. Ethereum has been very profitable. And I like to share with you because your followers, it's like the gold silver relationship. That silver is always more volatile than gold. Gold goes up 10%, silver goes up 15%. Gold falls 10%, silver falls 15%. Bitcoin has a run and it goes up 20%. Ethereum is all of a sudden going to go up 30%. It has a greater DNA of volatility. If you look over the past year, Ethereum has outperformed Bitcoin. What do I mine as a major? I have 90% margins mining Ethereum. And that's also, I'm the biggest hodler of Ethereum out there. There's no one else hodling Ethereum but a HIVE.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. So do you have to do anything to prepare for this proof of stake change?
If you believe it's going to happen.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So here's the lesson to learn. Every upgrade, every part, all it does is shrink the supply of Ethereum, which to me makes me very happy. The having a Bitcoin production in May of 2020 basically went from 12 and a half coins to 6.25 coins every 10 minutes, or there's 900 coins a day being mined. And prior to May of 2020, it was 1,800. So where was that supply going to shrink on a daily basis for Ethereum? All these upgrades take it out and people will then start doing proof of stake. They earn an income on it. That means as there's still many people using it for new adoptions, such as DeFi. Every time they come with a new DeFi and they want to use Ethereum, it pushes up the demand. But the supply is shrinking. Supply is shrinking. That's why we get higher rises in Ethereum than Bitcoin when we get these 20-day runs.
Okay, I see. And the Miami mayor, Francis Suarez, has announced that the city will make a request for citizens to pay fees with Bitcoin, fees and taxes, mentioning that he would like Miami to be the crypto capital of the United States. What are your thoughts on this news?
Well, I think he's been really smart of attracting young minds and young hearts. A lot of older investors, baby boomers in particular, are really not aware that their children and their grandchildren that have been playing gamers, and if they're very good at playing these computer games, they've been receiving rewards in digital money. And so they're used to this idea of digital money. And over the next 25 years, we're going to have the greatest transfer of wealth from baby boomers, my age, are going to transfer over $10 million to millennials. Mm. And that audience, that demographic view is much more easy and fungible in dealing with a digital money. So it's just inevitable that we're going to digital money.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. They're used to it by the video games in the past, so they're just going to run to it in the future. Okay. So let's talk about HIVE's reported earnings here. We see that HIVE reported $37.2 million in revenue and $18.6 million in earnings for the quarter of calendar year Q2. Could you walk us through the results?
Sure. What's really important is Ethereum. You see those results. Our Bitcoin production has been rising each month. We did hit the 1 exahash in August. We said we would, but that quarter you're talking about was the end of June. And each of those 3 months, our Bitcoin production increased. We purchased 3,000 machines for the facility in New Brunswick, which really helped fast track that Bitcoin production increase. And we're holding it as a hodling it. And then our Ethereum production is declined. If you look at numbers year over year, but the price has gone up. Now, why is it declined? It's because more kids are coming into mining Ethereum, and the difficulty has gone up to new highs. That hasn't happened with Bitcoin. So I see that we produced a year ago this time 300 coins a day, and now it's under 100 coins a day. But the price is up more than tenfold, so we're making much more money. The difficulty is up 300%, but the price action is up tenfold. So that means we are still doing exceptionally well. That's what's driving it. We really haven't spent a whole lot of money. There's not a big G&A cost when you look at how we structure the company. And we have the least dilution of all the other public companies. The number of financings being done, if you take a look at Marathon, it's more than tenfold increase in the past year in number of shares outstanding, from 10 to over 100 million. Riot's up over 400%. So our sales are up less than 20. So we've been very modest regarding that. So that ends up giving us a better view of getting a higher return on invested capital, which I am most thrilled about, is that you can have increasing revenue and earnings, but what's your return on invested capital per share? And by far, we're the highest in the industry.
That's what we like to hear. Okay, so could you speak a little bit more about the company's growth pipeline and overall operating leverages?
Well, it's just sort of matching the expansion of green energy along with equipment coming on a timely basis. So if you notice that every month we make announcements of buying more equipment, then more, we're taking some of our cash flow and mining more equipment and more equipment. And we expect to be at 2 exahash before Christmas in Bitcoin mining. If you add it and you converted our daily Ethereum production into Bitcoin, that equivalent is 13.5 Bitcoins a day. We're the biggest.
That's amazing.
Next biggest is like 12. And now other companies, our peers, are bringing on more machines, and just like we are. So it's the issue for all of us is getting the machines in a timely fashion from China over to whatever facility you have. There's huge bottlenecks that are taking place at the airports, and in particular, any that's sending shipping. Now, most often you send by air your machines, your ASICs and GPU chips are flown in. Do you know in the past year that cost has gone from something like $15 a kilogram to $130?
No. Wow.
Very expensive shipping. And then on big racks, big metal racks, if you send those, they usually come by boat. But the delays there are also quite significant. And so we're happy. We've been able to deliver what we said. We got the exahash. We'll have another one. The facility in New Brunswick, I'm so thrilled about. It's doing everything we said it would do. It's at 30 megawatts. So by Christmas, we had 20 megawatts additional at 50 megawatts. And then we're going to tack on another 30, take it to 80 megawatts. So we think in that campus we're building out could be 100 megawatts of beautiful green and clean energy.
Amazing. Okay, so and one of the most common challenges for miners is the expense of operations. How does HIVE manage to stay competitive when it comes to the mining costs?
Well, one of the big things we do in Sweden is we put on a hedge every year. And this is sort of the hedging season where the prices fall. Last year, we were locked hedges in at 1.7 cents a kilowatt, which is massive. And two, we're in New Brunswick, it's like 4 cents Canadian. So that's really attractive. 4 cents Canadian is less than 3 cents US, all in. If we were to go and use a host provider, they're going to charge us 6 to 8 cents a kilowatt. So that difference is coming to us. So we're thrilled about that.
Awesome. Lots of things to look forward to. Well, thank you so much for all the information, Frank. Do you have any closing thoughts you'd like to share?
Just
your Bitcoin bull.
That's
I love
right.
it. Very cool shirt. I'm sure you get stopped on the street when you wear it.
You know, it's a great observation, Cassandra, because I have gold and I have Go Gold and HODL Gold, and I never get anyone to comment. But when I wear my Ethereum shirts, I get more comments from them than any other T-shirt ever.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
it's really, I wore one on over to Dubai. I got it at the airport. When I came into the US through customs, the customs guy was asking me all about Ethereum. He's long Ethereum. You know, it's really amazing to see that. You would never, ever see, if I had gold on there, it's not going to happen. So there's something bigger. I try to tell baby boomer investors that's happening in this category, demographics globally.
Very cool. Yeah, they look at you and they're like, that must be a cool guy. I want to talk to him. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us again, Frank. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you for the opportunity of sharing our story.
Thanks so much for tuning in today. We'll be back again tomorrow with more great content for you. So be sure to stay tuned by hitting that notification bell and subscribing below.